something you can't fix.
If you can't fix what's broken, you'll go insane.
It's Jay and Adam. It's Preview.
It's Preview's Fix It with Adam and Jay.
Hey, Peaches. Oh, welcome to Fix It. We're friends. Don't let friends fix pop culture alone.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Jay.
And you are our listeners.
Hey there, listeners.
Ho there, listeners.
What's up, listeners? Yep, that's as
We switched.
That's as creative as I can be right now. How are you? How was your day? Talk to your radio. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
We even anytime you listen to Fix It, it listens back.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
with the code, your phones are always listening to you right now.
Yeah.
We just were able to tap into them.
Yeah, man.
During.
Scream into the void. Let us know what you think. Just get in there. You in your car driving somewhere and you don't really want to go there, but just let us know. We'll come get you.
Oh.
We'll tell your boss you have a dentist appointment, and then we'll take you to McDonald's.
Oh, get a Happy Meal.
That's a Fix-It promise.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
I hope the Treasury of Listeria can handle all those Happy Meals.
Did your mom ever do that?
Take me to McDonald's
Sometimes
after the dentist?
No. Your mom never, sometimes, on April Fool's Day or something, or just, my mom would just, get us out of school. She would just say we had, a doctor's appointment or something and get us out of school, and we'd just, go to McDonald's or do something fun, or, go to the movies.
No.
It didn't happen very often, but every once in a while. My mom would just get, my mom was a little bit of a rascal sometimes.
My mom,
we're not going to the doctors. We're going to the movies.
My mom's not a rascal.
She never did anything like that?
No, she did not.
Really?
Nope.
Do you think you strike me as the type of kid that'd be like, but mom, school, my homework.
No, Jay.
No?
No.
Did you like school?
No.
I hated it too.
Yeah. It was easy for me for a while.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't like it.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I got through all of my schooling with just very good pattern recognition and all that riz.
Yep. The janitor just following behind you with a mop because.
Yep. And then I got a college degree that was mostly based on talent
and charisma.
Mm-hmm. And barely made it. Oh! And here we are. Follow your dreams, kids. Follow your dreams. All right. Welcome to Fix It. This is me and Adam's podcast. You may know us from the wildly popular YouTube channel
It is now, yeah.
where we react, review, and riff to all things across the internet. This is our podcast, Fix It, where every week Adam and I take a piece of pop culture that maybe missed the mark, maybe didn't quite get there, maybe just fell into that river of chocolate, and we fix it. And this week, Adam and I, in a little bit of a departure from a standard fix, Adam and I are going to be writing WIlly Wonka 2, a sequel to the only good Willy Wonka movie ever made, the Gene Wilder from 1972.
That's true. That was 72?
It was 72.
Wow.
I'm going to be totally honest with you. I'm
All right.
saying that very confidently because I'm pretty sure it's 1972, but the minute you questioned me, I was like, is it? I'm pretty sure, but I can't remember. Brian will probably light me up in the comments later.
Brian will.
That's fine. That's
He's
why
got
we
our
have
back.
him
That's
here.
why we have him.
Yeah,
Yep.
man. Clack, clack, Brian. Get in there. Get messy.
But if Brian's wrong, he's going to go down with Veruca.
Oh, yeah. He's a bad egg. Wah, wah, and he's going right. He's Yahoo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Oh, Goofy, you rascal. But before we get into those fixes today, we're going to go into my absolutely most favoritist of all segments.
Mm-hmm.
A little segment where Adam and I maybe get better,
share words about
become
commonality.
better friends and strengthen our bond as friends and business partners in a little segment that I like to call Roll for Convo. That's right. We have a 20-sided die here. Our producer, Brian, has given us 20 pieces of topics of conversation.
Yep.
And
And
I'm going
apparently
to see what it is.
We already got the best one last week when it came to shoes.
yeah,
boy,
apparently.
so many people loved that conversation about shoes.
We really talked about shoes for quite
It
a while.
It drove engagement.
All right, I'm rolling this. Here we go. And it's a 4.
It's a gentleman's 4. What is one bad good movie that you love? What is one good bad movie that you love? Wow.
No.
Yep, that's right.
Yes. No, it's correct.
That's right.
You just happened to say that Like you should have finished what you said with "Stand clear of the closing doors, please." Like that. Do you want to take that again?
Oh, okay. No, I see what the problem is. I don't know if I said that right. I guess we'll hear it back in the playback. No, there are 2 questions here.
I know there's 2 questions.
Okay.
You just read them like you've never read out loud before in your life. Please do that again.
Okay, I'll try it one more time.
Yeah.
Okay. What is one bad, good movie that you love? Next question. What is one good, bad movie that you love?
Yes. Okay. So like, what is
The first one
movie?
what is one bad, good movie
A bad good movie
that you love?
that I love.
A bad, good movie.
Ooh. Man.
So basically, like a B movie type of something that not most people don't like. Most people would consider it bad, but you love it.
There is a specific movie starring Diane Keaton and Mandy Moore called Because I Said So. And it is the biggest piece of crap of a romantic comedy. Diane Keaton plays Mandy Moore's mom. And basically, like, Diane Keaton is getting in the way of Mandy Moore. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. I couldn't tell you the plot of what happens in Because I Said So right now.
Okay.
I just know that Kimberly and I watch it a bunch. And it's truly terrible. And it's truly hilarious that Annie Hall is in this movie. And it is so bad. It's the kind of thing where every time Kimberly and I watch it, we're like, okay, so like, who did Diane Keaton owe money to? Because she had to have read this script.
Maybe she's just a working actress.
And also, look, I think Mandy Moore has gotten the rough end of the stick. When has Mandy Moore been in something and you've been like, ugh, here we go? She's a delight. Why have we not gotten more Mandy Moore in our lives?
Jay, she was on This Is Us for all the seasons.
I understand, but that was a day late and a dollar short for old Mandy Moore.
Was it?
Yeah, she could have been a bigger star, I think, from an acting perspective.
Well, she was a triple threat, Jay.
I know, man. She can do it all. We're big. I also, Kimberly and I also really enjoy, we like Hallmark Christmas movies. I mean, that's the perfect
Switchmas
example.
films,
like,
yes.
Yeah, like specifically the Christmas Prince. We watch it every winter.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Have you already watched it this year?
No, we have not yet.
Oh,
we have not yet. We're saving it.
you're looking forward to it.
We're saving it
then?
for a nice night in, where
Just the Christmas Prince, just the first one,
yeah, just the first.
not its sequels.
Not the. I mean, we could watch the sequels. They're equally and delightfully as bad, and it's just fun watching them blatantly green screen in characters during it's.
Well, we watched the second one, right?
No.
Did we watch the third one?
No. I'm talking about you're talking about the Princess Switch. I'm talking about the Christmas Prince.
There was no Switch in that movie?
No.
Oh.
That's the one where she shows up as the reporter, but pretends that they're like, "Oh, but you're the nanny," and she's like, "Yeah."
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, was that the one with the girl from Rose McIver?
Yeah,
from
the girl
iZombie?
from iZombie, yeah.
And Power Rangers RPM?
She's in Power Rangers RPM. Who does she play?
She's a Yellow Ranger.
Good for her.
Mm-hmm.
Good for her.
And fun fact about that show: the Red Ranger goes on to be Jessica Jones's neighbor on the hall.
Oh,
the guy who has like the drug addiction that the Purple Man gave him, but then gets over it.
That's cool.
Yeah, he was the Red Ranger.
Who played all the other Rangers, Lashy?
Some Australians.
Okay, cool. They were all Australians.
They moved the filming to Australia or New Zealand
because
it was
cheaper.
cheaper.
Did they keep their accents, or did they do American
Some of them
accents? Did. Oh boy, that's tough.
No, it was a nice flavoring of New Zealand accent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's nice. Yeah, like folksy and charming.
it was folksy.
What are
and
your
charming.
favorite like good bad movies?
Good, but well, I mean, Army of Darkness, I know is not well beloved. Even
I love Army of
in the
Darkness.
nerd sphere, absolutely.
Yeah,
But like
I get
at
what you mean.
writ large, it's like
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
like
yeah.
an Evil Dead film.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, the funny ones? Yeah, you mean the best ones?
Yeah.
Come on. So is that Knight's Tale? I know a lot of people You know?
I don't think that's a bad movie.
I don't think it's a bad movie either. I think at large, it's like, oh, whatever. It wasn't that. Why did they have modern music in a fantasy time period movie?
I think this question breaks down for you because you don't suffer fools when it comes to the content you watch.
It's true.
I think I think you when something is like kind of bad, you have a tendency to go, no, I'm good, I'm done, we can turn this off.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't.
I'm not judging you in any capacity.
No, I don't really. Well, you know what? We did watch a couple of B films in our watch-alongs,
like Velocipaster.
Yeah, that was not all that bad.
Yes,
I mean, it was a bad movie, but like we had a ball watching it.
Yes.
We also had a ball.
But
watching
that's also that's the business model. Behold.
Well, sure, but like we don't fake that though. We generally were having a good time. Like, this is a bad movie, but like, isn't this insane? Like, Holiday in Handcuffs was actually pretty fun. It was Mario Lopez, Melissa Joan Hart.
That movie was a big piece of crap.
It absolutely was.
Okay.
Oh, there was.
I think it's all about the company you have when you're watching a movie like that too.
Oh, absolutely.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, you need that's ones you got to share with friends.
When Brian and I first became friends in college, Brian is the type of person, well, at least when we first met, Brian was the type of person that was he was like, I require silence through watching anything, and I was like, and he was like really wanted to watch something, and it got to a point. Now, to be fair, to Brian's credit, we were watching Mystic River. However, there's, I'm me, and I would like, to insert some levity and some jokes from time to time.
No.
And I'll never forget, this is like very early on in our friendship. Brian Plosky looked at me and he goes, if you don't stop talking, I will ask you to leave. It was not his dorm room. But he was still going to ask me to leave because I was talking during the movie. And I was like, yo, dude, I talk during movies. This is what I do. And now it's my job. Ha ha. Suck it, Brian.
Ultimately, Jay was right.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, he has since. But I also know that, like, if we're seeing something really serious, like, I know not to bug him. Because he's like, he's
focused.
He takes cinema very seriously.
He does.
Nowhere near to the degree that I do.
No.
And I know this is like a pop culture movie show, but like sometimes when we roll for convo, when we get movie questions, I go, oh no, I don't see movies.
We don't have time for movies.
Even though I do. Oh boy. It's just not something I think about.
Yeah.
Or what's a bad good movie?
You know what? I really liked I know this is maybe going off topic a little bit.
No,
but
please.
I liked Day Shift.
What was Day Shift?
It was that vampire action movie that was on Netflix last year.
Okay.
With Snoop Dogg and Electro.
Jamie Foxx.
Thank you, Jamie Foxx. Forgetting his name, but it was directed by one of the guys from the John Wick action team.
Okay.
So there's a lot of John Wickian action in there.
Oh yeah.
And he was fighting vampires in L.A.
Yes.
And a lot of people came out and it's like people were like, ah man, this movie sucked. Blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, you know what? It was a couple weeks ago. I found myself with a pocket of time. So you know what? I wanted to watch this. I got some time. Let's watch it.
Yeah.
I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun, and the action shots were nuts.
Yeah. What movie? Man, what was it? It's with Clive. What's his face? And it was
Clive Owen.
It was like it was an action film. You know what? I don't remember what it was called.
Was it the gun one?
Yes.
And he has to protect the baby?
Yes. That was a great.
Is Monica Bellucci in that?
Who?
Monica Bellucci? The girl from The Matrix?
Dude, I don't know.
The Persephone from The Matrix?
I don't know. Maybe. Sure. I think, yeah.
Like
man, that's going to drive me crazy. Brian will know because I saw it with him. Oh, you know what's a really, really bad, good movie that's really fun? Hey, if you like time travel in your movies and you want an airtight time travel like loop, Deja Vu starring Denzel Washington. Get in there and catch it. It makes no sense, but then it wraps itself up and you go, oh man, okay. That works. All right. It's pretty good.
Okay.
It's pretty. Yeah, action movies are like the perfect example of that. Like Guns Akimbo with
Harry Potter. I
Yeah.
really liked that.
yeah,
Oh, I think it definitely like it was like this is a complete movie, but
yeah.
we possibly could do another one. The story does like this is over, but he does go on to do other things.
I mean,
I'm gonna go do a thing. Like, yeah, man, do it. Cool.
I appreciate the level of I appreciate just being able to sit back and enjoy a movie sometimes. It's the kind of thing where it can be exhausting, like trying to appreciate and really like it's exhausting having taste. Sometimes it's like, you know what? You go to see a movie.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be the best movie in the
No.
world. It's like, I'm just here to like see weird stuff happen and eat popcorn and drink, Oh, it's another really bad good movie that people like really hated. You ever seen Young Adult?
No, but is that the one with Patton
It's
Oswalt?
Patton Oswalt and Charlize Theron, and it's a Diablo. Oh boy,
Diablo Cody.
Diablo Cody script. Do you want me? I'm gonna spoil it for you because you're never gonna watch it.
Oh no, I'm not gonna.
No,
watch
it has one of the best endings of any movie ever, and it's the reason that a lot of people hated this movie. But I thought it was genius.
It was all a dream.
No, it's the most realistic ending of any movie. She's kind of plays like kind of a bad person, and she goes back home to kind of like
Right. Mm-hmm.
And it's like the typical like you go back home and meet all the people from high school, and then like you end up like healing yourself and becoming a better person. And it gets to the end, and like she gets to like her big choice, and she's like, I've been like kind of a bad person. And then there's just this like side character that's been there the whole time, and she's just like, what are you talking about? You're awesome. She's like, you live in Minneapolis. You got a cool car. Like people think you're cool. You're cool. Don't even worry about it. She goes, you're right. I am cool. Yeah. You know what? Screw all this. And goes back and doesn't change. And it's the ballsiest ending. It's all she like gets on the precipice of all of this like personal betterment. And then she goes, nah. And it's like, oh no. It's like bone chilling. It's like really, but it's I listened to why can't I say her name? Diablo Cody,
Right.
some interviews with her about that movie, and she's like, yeah, the ending, like nobody wanted to make this movie because they were like, who is this for? She's like, I don't know, this is just sometimes this happens.
Yes.
Yeah,
Sometimes you move away from home and
It's
be like, you know what? I like who I am, not at home.
Oh yeah,
not in
but
my
she's-
hometown.
Yeah, but she's not a good person.
Oh, but she's not like truly.
Oh no,
she truly is not
no,
a good
she's
person.
kind of trash.
Oh,
Yeah, she like treats
successful but
No,
treats people mean.
No, like
poorly?
treats people poorly.
Okay.
Like is successful-ish. Like it's like she's a successful at what cost kind of thing.
Oh,
So
she truly like she just doesn't change at all and
No,
goes
dude,
back to
she doesn't
mistreating
She
people.
doesn't learn her lesson.
Oh,
Yeah, she's like, oh, I can move home and like be a better person, or I could just bail.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the reverse Christmas rom-com.
Yeah. People like hated that movie, and I was like, dude, when was the last time you saw a movie end like this? Like, when was the last time? Like, this is. I was like, I understand why people wouldn't want to make this movie, but the ending is the reason this movie got made, in my opinion.
Oh.
It was fascinating. Also, Patton Oswalt's very good in it. When is he gonna get his like real turn from like a serious actor perspective? I think he's really talented.
He's very talented.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of my answers, for at least for me personally, are like just a lot of those 90s action films, even 80s action films.
Face Off is the perfect example.
No, that's a bad movie, but it's good.
Yeah.
They did a very good job with a really just insane script.
I would argue Nick Cage writ large is
Con Air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Alcatraz. The Rock. Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome to the Rock.
I would argue that the National Treasure movies kind of fit into that milieu as well to some
Especially
degree.
the second one.
They're kind of corny as hell, but they're super
the second one was
duper fun.
Was not as strong as the first one.
Yeah. I would say the Pirates of the Caribbean movies fit in that milieu as well. They're not that good. Like, as they go on.
Well, the second and third, I know we caught some heat for, like, hey, suggesting a small change to the second and third films.
Yeah, people got real mad.
They got real mad. It's like, hey, no.
But also, thanks for the engagement.
We like those movies, but just, like, there could have been a small change of the story that, could have maybe helped out the third movie a little bit. That's all. But, yeah, those are, You know what? I enjoyed the fourth Matrix film.
I did too. I appreciated
People hated it.
I appreciated the meta aspect.
I loved
of it.
Yeah.
I will say about the fourth Matrix movie, the meta aspect is really interesting and really compelling. It is jarring because it had not done that up until that point.
Yes.
Like, I think that the fourth, if you had an aspect of, I would argue that the fourth movie feels disjointed from the rest of the franchise, but I feel like rather than making a fourth movie similar to the original trilogy, if you had added elements of that fourth movie into the 2 and 3, you would have had a better, it would have been a better experience as a whole.
Oh yeah.
Except for the French dude showing up with all the noodle monsters.
The noodle monsters.
Dude, they look like they're wearing a bunch of noodles. They look like they're wearing multicolored noodles. They don't look. They're like, we're viruses, and I'm like, guys, this looks like a community theater production of Godspell. You've got to knock it off, y'all. This is bad. This is real bad. Y'all know this is bad.
Okay.
And we're moving on.
Okay.
What? They look like noodles.
Oh,
Yeah. You know I'm right.
I'm not saying
Don't
anything.
sit there in judgment of me.
I'm sit here in no judgment.
All
Jay.
right. You better.
I sit here quietly, just as Brian would,
Just as Brian was.
taking the movie straight to the dome.
Brian had a lot of opinions about shoes last week too.
He really did.
And man, it really lit a fire under people.
Everyone.
That's the magic of Roll for Convo. Speaking of which, this has been our segment. Roll for Convo.
Ooh,
Catch
look
it.
at that outro.
Or don't. I'm not your mom. All right.
Still waiting to hear back if people like that a little bit or not.
No, they don't. No one's mentioned
No
it
one's
at
mentioned
at
it
all.
yet. No one's mentioned
I think
it.
that's a good sign.
Hey, no news is good
Probably.
news. Probably.
Maybe. Who's to say?
Who? I don't know. I don't know.
Are you
I'm
the
not
same?
your mom.
Oh. I liked that. That was fun. We're having fun. We're having a good time.
We're doing our best, Jay.
All right. And sometimes your best, not great. Sometimes your best sucks. That's one lesson I can't wait to teach my son. Your only job is to do your best, and sometimes your best is not sufficient, and that's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but you just need to make peace with that. Any hoozles, Willy Wonka, maybe my favorite movie ever made.
Yep. I don't care about the movie at all.
And I think
it has no cultural impact on me whatsoever.
that's such a shame. It's such a magical film.
That's exactly why, Jay.
What do you mean you don't like it because there's magic? You like magic.
I do, but it's all whimsy,
Oh.
and I don't like whimsy.
Do you also hate
respect.
friendship? Do you also hate glitter? Do you hate unicorns?
Dude, I hate
Do you-
glitter. It gets everywhere. You cannot wash
That
it
is
off.
fair. That is fair. You ever gotten glitter bombed before?
Jay, I worked at Showgirls the musical
Oh yeah,
for about a year.
There's glitter everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah, man. You ever in high school? You would glitter bomb somebody's car. You ever do that?
No.
Oh man, it was This is a prank we would play on each other. You put some like a napkin at the bottom of a straw, and then you fill the straw with glitter. And if someone left their window down, you just put it in. And just
That's just.
I'm
That's
pretty sure
never
my buddy
coming
Nick
out.
Still's got glitter in his car.
Yeah. It's never coming out.
Yeah, it's never coming out ever. It's funny. But do you also hate? Do you also hate like friendship, and magic, and you hate whimsy?
Yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I love it. It's my bread and butter. It's like my favorite thing.
Really?
I love whimsy.
Life
is too short
I
to
am
not be
shocked.
whimsical.
I am
Life is too short to not be whimsical. You know?
I do know, Jay. I just whimsy is not my jam.
What do you think your Oompa Loompa song would be?
I would never. No.
What do you get when you don't go outside? Yeah, you wouldn't be able to sing it because you wouldn't be there.
A golden ticket for chocolate? Oh, chocolate I'm never going to eat? Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks, Blanca.
Dude, it's a lifetime supply. You could sell it on eBay every
could
month.
sell
and
it on eBay, yeah.
Make a mint.
I would make mint then.
Yeah, man. Yeah, not in chocolate though.
No.
Only during the holidays. Do you like? I'm not even gonna ask. No, dude. This movie, like, I went to like midnight showings of this movie.
Well, here's a question, because I didn't see this until I was
an adult.
Yeah, way
I saw
older.
this as a child.
Yeah. So when were you first introduced to Willy Wonka?
As a child, I also I watched the movie, but I got really obsessed with it, and I read I read the 2 books.
Oh.
And I've read the books many times after the fact. And I was a big Roald Dahl head as a kid.
Is that what the fan base is called?
Yeah, they're called the Dolls, baby. Yeah, man, Doll's House. Let's party. You know?
Uh-huh.
Like, I mean, the group writ large is really taking a hit after we figured out some of the political leanings of Roald Dahl, but the books remain. Okay, he's not alive anymore. Okay, take all that anger and put it at J.K. Rowling. She's still around. All right, go get her. Okay. You can leave my Champion of the World alone. That's another Roald Dahl book that I wish they could turn into a movie. Jenny and the Champion of the World is one of my favorite books of all time. I love everything he's ever written.
Never even heard of that book.
Oh, it's just about a kid and his dad, and they poach pheasants, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Okay.
But yeah. Oh, I was a huge Roald Dahl kid, huge, and so like this movie. I'd watch this movie over and over and over again. And also, this movie is the reason like I became obsessed with Gene Wilder. And I would argue that Gene Wilder in this movie is one of the most iconic performances in any film ever.
Yes, I'll agree with you.
Like,
Absolutely.
the movie, the only reason the movie survived is because of his performance.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Absolutely.
That's it. I mean, like, you can't, like, and people are like, oh, well, actors make too much money. I'm like, well, I mean, if you get the right person who can give the right performance, it changes everything. Like, there's a reason they make so much money. Because, like, they're, like...
There's a reason why they keep making Willy Wonka films. Because they keep trying to recapture that magic.
And, yeah, I know that they're coming out with this Timothée Chalamet thing. And
Comes
I
out
appreciate...
on Friday, I think.
I appreciate that he is giving... he seems like has the right attitude about it. He's trying to have fun, and he's trying to give a good performance.
Yeah.
But I'm like, dude... It's when we saw the trailer and he was like, "Oh, strike that, and reverse it." I was like,
Yeah, I remember. Oh, I remember the moment you. Yep. The vibe in the room changed significantally as soon as he said that line. You were just like, and that.
The whole point is that this guy basically has no backstory or family or anything. You read through the books, this guy is just around.
He's just an enigma.
He's a Time Lord, man. Who's to say?
Could be.
This guy has no future, no past. He exists in the moment. He is the id. Willy Wonka doesn't need anything other than some whimsy and a touch of menace.
Yeah.
That's all you need for a good Willy Wonka. But yeah, what about this movie in particular? Like, where do you draw the line at whimsy? I guess is the question.
When it's nonsensical.
Okay.
This movie for me was nonsensical.
Oh man. At some point in our lives, you're gonna look at me and say, "Snozberries." No one's ever. There isn't such thing as a snozberry. That's basically that's the statement you just basically made.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that a reference to the movie?
Yes.
No, I was aware that was the reference.
Okay. Oh, okay. But before we get into this movie, we should probably do a little bit of a plot drop.
Just a little bit.
Just a quick plot drop. We are doing the sequel.
We are making up a sequel.
And there is technically a book-written sequel. But honestly, The Great Glass Elevator is a bad book.
It's terrible.
It's not good.
I read the Wikipedia synopsis for it.
No sense.
They
go to space. They go to a lot of different places.
There's aliens.
It makes no sense. The Rotten Vermicious Canids, it's not great. Nope. Guys, don't waste your time. There's no whimsical chocolate factory. It's a lot of It's a lot of old folks in a glass elevator is what it is.
Does the sequel ruin the first book at all?
No.
The sequel is so bad that it kind of colors the first one a little bit?
No.
Okay.
It also came at a time in which like people weren't that precious about their franchises. It was just kind of like, oh, we wrote a second book. Who cares?
True.
He wrote a lot of stuff.
Did write a lot of stuff.
Go read Matilda. Go check that one
watch
out.
That. Yeah, watch the musical.
Fantastic Mr. Fox. What a wonderful journey. Danny and the Champion of the World. Go check that one out if you haven't. It's a deep cut, but it's wonderful. Anywho's, so plot drop for Willy Wonka Chocolate Factory. Charlie Bucket, poor kid with 4 grandparents, mom and dad in the book, but in this one, just mom.
Oh, there's a dad in the book?
Absolutely.
Oh.
I will say, in the remake, the one thing they do nail, everything up to the Chocolate Factory in the Tim Burton one, pretty spectacular.
Okay.
It's when they go to the factory, it completely falls apart and ruins the rest of it for me. It's like the Fantastic Four remake. First 45 minutes, wonderful filmmaking. The rest of it,
and then they go to the
absolute trash. Absolute trash. So Charlie Bucket, poor kid. He lives in a town where there's a chocolate factory and it has been closed down and no one ever goes in and no one ever comes out. The chocolate maker is world famous for making the best chocolate. Everyone loves it. There's a man in a shop singing about it all the time. I'm not sure if that's part of his job, or if he's just adds some extra flavor he adds to his candy store. Anyways, so the chocolatier decides he's gonna put 5 golden tickets into chocolate bars, and the 5 children who get the golden tickets get to tour the factory that's been closed for years. Oh, and the world goes absolutely mad. It goes completely insane. And they think all 5 tickets are gone, but there actually was one still out there, and the 5th one was lying. Charlie Bucket buys 1 more chocolate bar, gets a golden ticket. His Grandpa Joe gets up out of bed, even though he seems like he's been bedridden for years and could have been contributing to the family, but apparently he's fine. All it took was just a smidgen of greed, a little blood in the water, and Grandpa Joe is good to go. Or I'm not sure. Or there was he made some kind of dark pact in order to go there. I'm not sure what Grandpa Joe's situation is, but it's sus. At best, it's sus.
Yeah.
He does have a very good song, though, and he sings it and runs around. It's wonderful. And then they go to the chocolate factory. All 4 of the kids, they succumb to some kind of, hubris or greed or what have you. And the Oompa Loompas sing about it. Charlie, who he drinks fizzy lifting drink, bumps into the ceiling, which then has to be washed and sterilized, so he gets nothing. But then he goes back and gives the everlasting gobstopper to Mr. Wonka, which is the thing that's the Slugworth character, who had been like around all the kids trying to get the secrets of Wonka's factory.
Whisper.
Who apparently works for him and is Mr. Butterworth. What was his name? I can't remember. I've seen this movie many times.
Yeah.
And Wonka in that moment, in that small deed that shows so shined in a weary world, Wonka gives Charlie the chocolate factory.
And they get in a glass elevator and they take off. To parts unknown.
Yeah. Willy Wonka chocolate factory.
And the kids are all dead.
No, they're not. In the book, they're not.
But they are maimed horribly.
I mean, they don't look great when they leave, but here's the thing in the book that they don't. They still get their lifetime supply of chocolate.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was part of the deal. So there was no stealing anything for anyone in the thing. They just couldn't hang. God, if you learn anything from Willy Wonka, it's important to know how to hang. Okay?
Sure.
Don't be a party foul. Just chill out.
Sure.
Okay. I'm glad that point got across. I feel better about that.
Yay. Good.
Is there a whimsical movie you do like?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. I can't think of one off the top of my head.
All right. Did you read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe as a child?
I did not.
No.
I didn't read any of the Narnia books.
Oh, those are wonderful books. With talking mice and beavers.
Sure.
Satyrs.
Yeah.
You'd love it.
Yeah, no, I didn't really.
No. Yeah, but what if Jesus was a lion?
What if Jesus was like? What if
Lion,
someone
Witch,
tried to
Wardrobe.
quote
Catch
the old?
it.
Yeah.
What if Christianity had more big cats in it? All right.
Don't quote the old man to Jesus. He was there when it was written.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Don't you quote the MGM opening credits to me. I was there when they were taped. Anyways, we should fix these movies.
Yeah, but we should let Brian give us some information about all these Wonka movies.
You're right. When you're right. Hey, Brian.
Compare and contrast the Wonka films.
Let us know about all the Willy Wonka projects. All of them. Hop to it. Yeah. When you roll that beautiful bean fun fact footage.
Thank you, gentlemen. Today we're fixing up a sequel to 1971. Yes, 1971, specifically June 30th, 1971's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Directed by Mel Stewart and written by Roald Dahl based on his book, it stars Gene Wilder, Jack Albertson, and Peter Ostrom. Slugworth's real name, by the way, is Mr. Wilkinson in the movie. Now, this movie had a $3 million budget and made $4 million at the box office. Here's some fun bean facts. Roald Dahl hates this movie since they took the focus off of Charlie and placed it more on Wonka since Gene Wilder was cast. He also hated the plot deviations. Now, this movie was produced by the Quaker Oats Company. It has a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes, if you care, and an average of a 3.8 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Roald Dahl did write a sequel to his book entitled Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator, but we're not really acknowledging that today. Now, on the other hand, Tim Burton's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with Johnny Depp and Freddie Highmore from 2005 cost $150 million to make and made $475 million at the box office. It has an 83% on Rotten Tomatoes and an average 3.2 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Now, this year's Wonka already has an 84% on Rotten Tomatoes as of early December in 2023. That's this year. And it cost $125 million to make. Now, I have to say, Jay is making me sound like a movie monster that I just like sit there in silence. But I laugh, I cry, I'm just locked into the movie. I like to be taken by it and don't really enjoy kind of outside stimulus to knock me out of that magic. That's not a reaction to like the movie itself, you know, what's happening. It's still a very communal experience for me, which I love most about going to the movies. Now, as an example, Jay and I went to the movies to see The Ring 2. And we, along with the rest of the theater, had an absolute ball making fun of the deer scene. I'm just using that as an example. Like, why can't we just like watch the movie and be locked into what's happening, especially if it's a really effective drama? That's my personal escapism. Also, the movie you were talking about, Jay, with Clive Owen also stars Paul Giamatti, and it's 2007's Shoot 'Em Up. Anyway, back to you, gentlemen.
What do you get when Brian gives us facts?
He's talking about chocolatey snacks and this film that Jay really loves. Something. Oh, there's doves. Boom. It's a John Woo film. Yep.
There's a John Woo film out right now, I think. I think Silent Night is out right now.
I look forward to not seeing it. All right.
Really want to see that? It looks great.
There's so many other things to see.
Sure.
Man.
That's my type of whimsy. A movie that's all action and no dialogue whatsoever.
That's not whimsy, dude.
It's my type of whimsy. Yeah.
That's fair. Okay. So Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah. Yep. Needed a sequel. Could have had a sequel.
Could have had a sequel.
Yeah.
Could have had a sequel. And it's not the Great Glass Elevator.
No, it's not at all.
They could have they could have captured the magic again with this and captured the fun of this again. And yeah, it's staggering to, I mean, honestly, this movie was really difficult to make because the Dahl estate did not want to give the rights to this movie.
Really?
Oh yeah, they were not into it.
Oh.
Yeah, they had to convince them, and yeah, and I think they ended up being happy with it in the long run, only because Gene Wilder was incredible. But other than that,
yeah,
I don't know.
It's been almost 50 years. No, it has been 50 years since that movie came out, and it's still like timeless.
Yeah.
The whimsy doesn't age, Jay.
Yeah, it's really great. And he cut a chicken's head off.
He cut a chicken's head off.
Yeah, man, and a centipede crawled over a man's face. You know how that happens in every children's movie? There's no earthly way of knowing. That's the thing. Kids' movies don't scare them enough anymore, you know? You gotta sneak it in there. You gotta sneak a little pocket. It's like how a good butternut squash soup needs a little bit of chili pepper. And I keep telling that to Kimberly, but she doesn't like spicy food. But I'm like, it needs a little chili pepper. And she's like, I don't like spicy. I'm like, it just needs a little.
Yeah. Kids' movies
You just gotta spook them a little bit.
They just need to be in actual danger.
Yeah.
Any one of the Goonies could have died.
That's a good point.
At any moment.
That
they
makes,
really could have died.
Yeah.
Those mobsters really could have killed any one of those kids.
Yeah, dude. And Sloth was spooky.
Sloth was spooky.
Yeah.
He was not like, a good guy or like, oh, he's actually okay until like later.
Yeah.
So like, most kids films nowadays are just, way more sanitized than the one they were in the 80s.
Yeah.
Which is why Stranger Things was so good.
Yeah,
because it's like the kids were actually in danger.
Yes, it's like actually, oh man. Oh, they killed Samwise Gamgee.
They did.
Ooh, he got bit real good. You ever thought about that's the one thing about Stranger Things that freaks me out. You ever thought about getting bit by a mouth that has like 5 sides to it, like a rhombus of a bite?
No, Jay.
Yeah, it bums. Yeah.
Have you thought about it?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Sucks.
Oh,
It's like how baboons have thumbs and they can grab you.
sure.
What if they could do that with their mouth?
Oh God.
It sucks.
Yeah.
I hate it. So Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. What are we talking about? Let's fix this movie.
We're gonna make a sequel.
All right. Okay.
Jay's going first.
I'm
Jay's got
going first.
an idea for a sequel.
Willy Wonka 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Back in the
The Habit. Yeah.
Catch it. Or don't. I'm not your mom. All right. So Willy Wonka 2. Okay. My movie for Willy Wonka 2. It opens up on a it opens up kind of like very close to where we left off.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like the idea of the movie opens with Charlie and his whole family getting off the Great Glass Elevator in the factory.
Sure.
It can be implied that maybe they went on the glass elevator adventures.
But meh.
Sure. I mean, it leaves enough wiggle room in that. But it's time for Wonka and Charlie to kind of like make it official.
Yes.
And kiss. No, see that with a kiss. No, they got to do all the paperwork.
Yes.
And we find out through him signing like all of the paperwork and like the deed to the factory and things like that. We find out that anyone that would have gotten through the tour and been like and made it through would have shared ownership of
I see.
the
Yes.
factory.
Yes. So yeah, if 3 kids made it, the 3 kids would have owned it.
Oh, it's like if
Yeah.
Augustus had also made it, like you and Augustus would share the factory and work together.
But he drowned, so you're fine.
he was put into the fudge room and made it out and was fine.
So dead.
I don't know. I refuse to believe that. So we find out that little detail. And Charlie and Wonka kind of get to work. We kind of get a little bit of like this first act opening montage of like the buckets kind of adjusting to living into the factory.
Sure, yeah.
And we learn that like Wonka is going to like kind of facilitate Charlie and kind of teach him everything about.
It's like an apprenticeship or
Yeah.
Does his mom sing at any point in this?
Absolutely not.
Just wanted to
There
make
are
sure.
many times there are many times in my movie that Charlie's mom tries to sing.
Oh, she's got that moment, and she's like up against
Yeah.
the wall, and she's looking
He's
at
going
Charlie.
to
it's like,
tell. He's going to
Yeah.
tell. Yeah, and the Oompa Loompas like just like chloroform her and get her out. She tries to sing multiple times. They're like, no. And man, there are so many people that try to be like, no, Cheer Up Charlie's a great song. You're wrong. Get out. If you are a listener and you think Cheer Up Charlie, you need to say it out loud, and we will listen to it through the way, and we will find you. You know that for sure. I will send my birds. Cheer up.
yeah. Just the Oompa Loompa just dives out of from frame, just tackles her.
Yeah, and so, Charlie and we see that Charlie and Wonka starts teaching him about like some of the secrets of some of the things, and Charlie's like, I want to know the secrets of the gobstopper, like the everlasting gobstopper, and Wonka's like, I'm not sure you're ready. I'm not exactly sure that you are like ready for. That's like the most advanced thing we've ever made. You're not ready for it. And
You're still at Chocolatier 101 right now.
And so, in true Grandpa Joe being a terrible person fashion, Grandpa Joe and Charlie kind of sneak into the gobstopper situation and kind of like see what's going on.
Uh-oh.
And we find that in order to make the gobstopper do what they do,
which is everlasting and never loses its flavor.
yeah, we learn that Wonka has figured out in his machine the ability to basically like remove the candy from the time stream.
Oh, so basically what they did to Loki. They
It
harpooned him out of...
It exists out of time, and so it'll never go anywhere because it technically is not part of the time stream. And so there are time travel elements to the concept of a gobstopper. Like removing it from time basically makes it a constant.
Yeah, I was about to say it's a constant. Yeah.
And so when Charlie is like screwing around with the machine, basically like Charlie touches the wrong button or something.
Of course he does.
And gets hit with the laser, and he goes, and he basically gets like warped through a like multi-dimensional portal. And Grandpa Joe's just like, uh-oh. And then Grandpa Joe has to go get Wonka, and Wonka, has his, and Gene Wilder has this like freak out, and he's like, okay, we got to go find this kid. And he takes like the gobstopper, they hit the great glass elevator, and Wonka, he's like, how I said this elevator can kind of go upways, sideways, all which ways. I mean, if we use this to power the elevator, it can kind of go anywhere. And so using the power of the everlasting gobstopper, and I think this just like fits the world.
Sure.
Like the great glass elevator, like it is Grandpa Joe and Wonka are going to go find where Charlie is.
Sure.
Now,
so it's Willy Wonka and the Multiverse of Madness.
Pretty much, yeah. Mm-hmm. Charlie shows up. He shows up like back in town.
Okay.
And he basically like the town that he shows up, and he's like, oh, I'm in my city. I'll just go to my house and see if anyone's there.
Yeah, I know these streets. Yeah.
I know these streets. And he goes back to his house, and he finds that there's like different people living there, and they don't know who he is. And we find out through him walking through the streets that like Charlie, basically we get informed that Charlie is basically in the same city with the chocolate factory, but it's clearly like many years in the future, and he's like, I've time traveled. Like, oh no, like this is in the future.
It's 1980s. Oh God.
But through posters on the wall and seeing a newscast in the window of an electronics store,
as you do,
as many of us have done.
Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite TV trope that never happens in real life. We find out that there is going to be a tour of the chocolate factory, of Wonka's chocolate factory.
Right.
And Charlie is like, oh, maybe I didn't go forward in time. What's happening?
Am I in the past?
And they're like, oh yes, the four winners. It's part of the that was another thing we learned earlier. That part of the contract is that he has to also pass on the factory when he gets too old. Charlie has to. Like it's in the contract. Yeah. Once you reach a certain
there must
age,
always be a Wonka.
You must pass it on.
Yeah, the curse must be passed on.
So they're like, oh, the owners of the chocolate factory have to pass on the factory again. And so they're doing the same thing with the golden tickets. Mm-hmm. So we see the poster of the four owners of the chocolate factory, and it is Mike TV, Vira Beauregard, Augustus Gloop, and Veruca Salt. It's the four.
Yeah.
The other four.
Yeah, who all died in Charlie's universe.
Won the factory. And it's based like this is when Grandpa Joe and Wonka find Charlie. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, and he was like, they're opening up the factory again. Like, I don't even know where we are. And at this point, their gobstopper only has like one jump, or has two jumps left. And Charlie's like, we gotta, like, I don't even know where we are. And Wonka's like, I don't have enough of a jump to get us back to our own dimension. But if we can get another everlasting gobstopper from the interior of the factory, which they aren't selling for some reason, I can get us back to our dimension. Mm-hmm. And Charlie's like, well, how are we going to get a golden ticket? And he's like, I've planned for this contingency.
Because I'm Willy Wonka.
Yeah. He's like, I have the ability to get us there and get us back. he was like, I did use another of this, like, I did remove a ticket from time just in case of this, like, of this possibility, because, it's a children's
It's like
movie.
Doc when he goes to the back of the DeLorean and he opens up the case and there's money from all the different time periods.
Yes, it's exactly like that.
Yeah.
So, what's fun is the golden ticket that exists, that the constant golden ticket, it's in Loompa Land. So they travel to Loompa Land, and we get certain aspects of that, and like we meet like the Oompa Loompa chieftain,
Sure.
and like we get to see like what that's like, and it's like, oh, like ever since you saved us, like Loompa Land's been great, blah 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 blah. So they get that constant golden ticket, and we basically, like, Charlie sets himself up, and they're like, oh, I guess we accidentally put out 6 tickets. So Charlie and a Willy Wonka, and honestly, for this purpose, just for the whimsy of this, they're like, you only get to bring one person. And so Wonka figures out a way, uses a great glass elevator to shrink down Grandpa Joe, and he's in a pocket the whole time.
Sure.
Just because that's fun.
That's fun.
That's whimsy. That's fun. So we
Yeah.
got tiny little Grandpa Joe. We got Charlie. We got Willy Wonka, who is dressed up like Grandpa Joe, like trying to pretend to be Grandpa Joe,
Yep,
which
absolutely.
is fun.
Yep.
So they go into the factory with these 5 other kids, and we find out that the 4 of them have been gearing up, trying to turn Wonka's factory into some kind of like deranged theme park. Like the 4 of these kids have basically turned Willy Wonka's factory into a corporate dystopian nightmare.
Yep.
And so basically, like the 4, like the trials that these kids are going to go through. First of all, we get to like Augustus Gloop's room, and they got like different worlds or sections. They've been in charge of, like, they want to open this up as a theme park. I love it. Rather than being a chocolate factory. I love it. Yes. And so Augustus Gloop has basically latched on to the concept of the edible room, but it's way more grandiose. Yeah. And because of like mismanagement, some of these chocolate candies have turned carnivorous. So we get candy Venus flytraps that are human sized. Like, it's the kind of thing where, like, it's hard. It's like legitimately hard for them to survive.
Yeah.
We don't, because of Charlie's knowing what's up. Charlie, like, basically kind of saves all of these kids for, like, he saves these kids and gets them through. And it's the kind of thing where the 4 of them are, like, the 4, CEOs are kind of like, that's not what was supposed to happen.
I already love this.
And so
do they sing a song about how this is not the way it's supposed to go?
No.
Oh, they don't sing a song.
That's the thing. Oh, that's another thing. Sorry, I missed that. When they go to Loompa Land, we find out that all the Loompas got laid off because they have robot Oompa Loompas. They're like, so it's not great in Loompa Land, but they're doing okay. Yeah. But, like, they have robot Oompa Loompas to do the work. So, like, like Mike TV, like, rigged up a bunch of robot Oompa Loompas. So we get, like, robot songs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Beep, bop, beep,
But they
borp.
keep trying to, but that's the bit. They keep trying to start the song, but the kids are fine.
Oh.
I
see.
It's
like the bit with the mom all over
so
again.
Augustus Gloop's is the big carnivorous chocolate room, and then we go to the next room is what's her Violet Beauregard's room, and she in her attraction in this, like, deranged theme park. She was always, like, trying to beat records and stuff like that.
She was.
She's trying to build the biggest chocolate bar ever made.
Sure.
And but the problem is that she won't stop, and it's getting so big that it has some gravitational pull. So there's, like, some gravitational issues.
Ooh, look at that whimsy.
Yeah, that's fun, right?
That's fun.
And they're like, this place is how, and she's like, well, we just kind of made it, like, time and space, like, work differently in this.
It's a really dense chocolate bar.
Yeah. But as they all kind of escape from this big chocolate bar situation, we find out. No, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna say this. The third room we go into is Mike TV's room.
Yep.
And we find out that he is in lieu, like he has utilized that television technology to get small, but he has it is morphed into like, oh, like you could be a commercial for this store and you could just walk through your TV into the store. And so like, oh, you get a candy commercial, you could go into your thing. It's like, or if you want to go into your favorite shows. So we get a really fun sequence of the kids like trying to survive these like like they go into like a Western TV show, sci-fi.
It's like Control Freak from the Teen Titans. Teen Titans.
Yeah. So Wonka and Charlie are kind of like progressively saving these kids.
And Wonka's like the guy kind of giving him like little clues here and there, but it's Charlie like figuring out,
But he's also got that Wonka like, oh, it's fine, oh, oops, what can you do? But eventually, like, but Charlie keeps being very adamant about like,
no, I'm gonna
have to happen.
I'm gonna save these kids, yeah.
And like they eventually gets to a point where, they see where the gobstopper situation is, and Wonka's like, we can just go in here, and we can go here and get back and save the thing.
Yeah.
We need to go right now. And Charlie's like,
yeah, but
these kids aren't going to make it if we don't help them.
Veruca's next. You remember how horrible she was?
Yeah, that's basically.
God knows what she's going to do to those kids.
And he's like, I mean, if you can take the gobstopper, that's fine. But we need to make sure these kids make it through. And Charlie's like, I'm pretty sure that they know that they have to do this tour, but they're making it they want to make it impossible for anyone to get all the way through. Like they have to do this legally, but they are trying to kill all these kids.
Yep.
And Wonka's like, yeah, but this kid is, this kid says this problem is this, and Charlie is basically just like, we're just kids. Like he's like, I understand that, like, I'm like, I made the right choice in order to get the factory, but like, we all have a lot of growing up to do. Like, I think we learn the lesson is just like everyone is worthy of the chocolate factory. It just might take some people longer to get there.
Oh.
And then Wonka's like, oh. And so they get into
that's a good lesson.
Yeah. They get into Veruca's room, and Veruca in her bad egg situation. It's a bunch of chutes and
ladders. Are there ladders in there as well?
I mean, there's some ladders. That's OSHA. That's you gotta have them, but it's mostly chutes.
Okay.
It is a +13 to chutes, -2 to ladders.
There it is.
It's a wildly specific reference. Maybe my favorite bonus action joke.
Probably.
From episode 1. But Charlie and Wonka and tiny little Grandpa Joe. I like to think that Grandpa Joe, he is reversely affected when they're in the chocolate room because he's like, I'm little. Like, so he helps. I don't know. Charlie has to help all of these kids get out of here and make sure all the kids get to like the final room, and they are given their chocolate factory. And then we find out the plot that they were just trying to kill the kids the whole time, and yada 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 yada. They're defeated.
And we would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you, stupid Charlie Bucket.
We they don't even know who Charlie is because he exists. He exited through time. I'm assuming Charlie teaches the four of them some kind of lesson, but then we go and he's like, hey, all these other kids, I think Charlie points out to the four of them that each of these kids has a flaw, but here's where they could be good. And he's like, he was like, I know all of you. You don't know who I am. But Augustus, you were this way. But I also know you're this, this, and this. Yeah. Veruca, you you were endlessly competitive, but also you had a drive to do what's to be the best. There are certain aspects of your personality that you let's just flip the coin on this. And so Charlie heals those four, and then they get back in the elevator and go back to the factory. And so Charlie's like, I appreciate the chocolate factory, but I think there's a way to rehabilitate the other four, and they could help me.
Oh wow!
And so the end of the second Willy Wonka movie is Charlie doing his best to
reanimate the dead, because they're all dead,
to run the factory with the other four kids. He
was
wow! He was like, these four have something to offer this company, And I would like to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Wow.
And Wonka's like, and he was like, that's not how I expected this to go, but that's 100% the reason why you need to run this company.
Wow.
And that's the end of the movie.
That's really good, dude.
Thanks.
That's like, wow.
Yeah, so my biggest issue with Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is that it's like so diametrically like, oh, you have a flaw.
Wow.
You're not worthy. And I don't love that.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That's like,
Because they're kids.
yeah. You know what? It's kind of like Scott Pilgrim.
Yes. Yeah,
Like
it fixes
yeah,
the like.
you could redo Scott Pilgrim and make it so it's there.
It's like, yeah, I bumped into the ceiling, but like, but I felt bad about it, and I won't do it again.
yeah. I learned my lesson. Here we go.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's very much in line with the spirit of the original movie.
I think so, and it makes the last movie less creepy because those kids aren't dead.
I mean, they're very dead.
Yeah, they shrunk that poor kid. He's so small. I understood they took him to the taffy stretch, but have you seen a taffy stretcher? It's not pleasant.
Mm-mm.
No. They're like, young boys are springy. I'm like, how you know that, Wonka? I don't like that. I don't like that that's a factor.
Because
that
there's a lot of young boys that are springs right now.
Yeah, I thought a lot about this.
Yeah.
And I think that could be really, like...
That had a lot of heart.
Yeah. Well, it needs to.
Yeah, absolutely.
It needs to. But it also needs to be kind of scary.
Yeah, and having them the other 4 kids as adults and like trying to murder kids.
Well, it's fun because they are building the factory to try to kill these kids.
Yeah.
It's not like the Wonka factory was like, I wasn't trying to kill these kids. They killed themselves. Like, I really wasn't. I told them not to do this stuff.
They were not following the rules.
Yeah. Like, yeah. Was the boat a little spooky? Sure. But other than that,
I only cut one chicken's head off.
yeah. Well, it wasn't me. I just had footage. You can't tell it's me. All right. That's my fix.
That's a great fix, dude.
Thank you.
Well done. Okay, so here is my fix
Yeah.
for Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. My sequel is called Charlie and the Chocolate Factories.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Similar,
Back in the habit.
yes, back in the habit. So similar to your movie, my movie picks up right where the first one left off with Charlie, Grandpa, and Wonka in the Great Glass Elevator. And Wonka was just gonna fly Charlie home, but they end up a little higher than they expected, and they kind of are in orbit for a hot second.
Yeah.
We are not, because I read what the second book was about. We're not gonna do any of that. Just like kind of a little nod to it, though, is that they're gonna be in orbit of Earth a couple times, and Wonka tells Charlie that he'll teach him all he knows, and he'll be able to spread joy across this incredible, confusing, and wonderful world.
Yeah.
And it gives him a moment to be like, hey, you know what? This is the world you're gonna kind of not be in charge of, but like you're gonna help out everybody here.
Yeah.
This is the opportunity to help this entire planet. So eventually the elevator heads back to Charlie's house, and Wonka invites all the buckets to live in the factory. And then we're gonna get a montage of Charlie learning the ins and outs of the factory. Basically
Great.
the same thing as you do.
And that'll be Charlie's mom's song, like over it.
No, Charlie's mom doesn't make it to the factory because she can't. She needed to sing to get in. They're like, absolutely right out here.
Oh no!
Get out
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye, Charlie's mom.
Bye, Charlie's mom. Yeah.
Deuces. See you later, Candace. I don't remember what her name is.
But we see this montage of Charlie learning from Wonka in a montage, and we age Charlie up to be in his like early 20s.
Okay.
Like we're gonna move past all the childhood stuff.
Yeah,
and, like,
man.
Charlie's going to inherit the factory.
Yeah.
And so finally, it's time for Wonka he decides to retire. So he leaves the factory to Charlie.
Yeah.
And the first decision that Charlie makes is that the Oompa Loompas can also retire with Wonka if they want.
Oh.
Because, and this is where I think, and granted, I'm not big into whimsy, but taking Charlie Bucket's character and like how he was raised, how he grew up, things weren't really important to him. He wants to be an entrepreneur and help people like Wonka helped him.
Yeah.
So he decides that he's not going to be like Wonka, but he wants to give tours. He's not the Wonka that was.
Yes.
I cannot be that guy.
Yeah.
I can be Charlie though.
Yeah.
And Charlie is a very, very good person.
Yeah.
So he's going to
And he's a Wonka fanboy too.
Yes.
So he wants to like spread
live
the love.
up to the name.
Yeah.
But like he's going to do it his own way.
Yeah.
So he's going to give tours the factory, but there's no like he does an homage to what Willy did, but like he knows he can't copy him.
Yeah, no.
And no, he's gonna like make sure kids don't die in the in the factory.
Yeah.
And so because like his grandpa
Put like a railing around the river.
Yeah, OSHA comes and is like, oh yeah, we can safety this up a little bit. Yeah. And and Grandpa Joe can kind of help him like, you need to be your own Wonka. Figure out your own way.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
So Charlie adopts this friendly, benevolent Wonka personality because he becomes like the Wonka now. Yeah. Like, everyone's like, I'm Charlie. Like, no, you're Wonka now.
It's a mantle.
It's a mantle.
Gotcha.
So Charlie's like kind of like, I don't know, I just want to be Charlie Bucket. He's like, no, you're
You must embrace the chocolatey patron.
But you're Wonka.
It slumbers underneath this factory.
So like he's basically like Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
Charlie becomes like a Wonka, but that's very much like Ted Lasso.
Okay. But in a genuine way?
Absolutely genuine.
I'm feeling a butt coming.
No.
Okay.
Charlie is absolutely genuine.
Love it.
So Charlie's decisions start working out splendidly. The city's factory is renewed of life. The city is growing because like he's hiring the locals to work in the factory because the Oompa Loompas aren't there anymore.
Oh, so the Oompa Loompas go.
Yeah, the Oompa Loompas decide to retire with Wonka.
Do some stay, you think?
I think maybe for
Just
a little
for flavor.
For a little bit.
I think it's fun. It's fun in Oompa Loompa being like the floor foreman.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a bunch of people working and they'd be like an Oompa Loompa being like, we got to make quotas, you guys.
But it's all like, because Charlie wants to give people the opportunity.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's able to hire people at a good wage. The city's starting to be renewed. People are the society's starting to be reinvigorated.
Unionize, and he busts them.
No, they pre-union. Yeah. Charlie's like, oh yeah, absolutely. Like everything is great at the Wonka factory.
Hell
Charlie
yeah.
is crushing it.
I love it.
Here's the problem though. This is the end of Act 1.
Oh no.
Unfortunately, even though Charlie's killing it right now, and everyone like loves the new Wonka,
inflation.
No, there's a lot of other corporate interests out there, like Slugworth and the other chocolate companies are still out there.
Yeah.
And really, really don't like what Charlie's doing with the factory.
Yeah.
He's becoming a much bigger threat than Willy Wonka was, because
he's just genuinely good.
Yes. And Willy Wonka was just kind of like, I'm going to just be in my factory and I'm just going to do my thing.
Isn't it wonderful when you have a leader who is like enigmatic and it actually can make a lot of amazing things happen, and then they're like, oh, we're going to find dirt on this guy, and it's like, there's nothing. This guy's just genuinely good. What a wonderful thing that is. It's very rare.
Yeah. So Charlie, unbeknownst to himself, is starting to gain increase in power and influence.
Yeah.
Just because he's just being the nicest guy possible and helping everyone out in his city. So hey, everything has worked. The factory is great. Fantastic. We're going to move ahead a couple of years. And Charlie's like now in his 30s and plans are going exceedingly well for everything. And seeing the success of his original factory, Charlie decides that, you know what? Like, we're doing great here, but the demand for our product has grown.
Okay.
So I think it would be great if we could open up some other factories around the world.
We're coming to America.
So yeah. So he starts opening up a couple of factories. We gotta get out of
this weird nondescript town.
This weird, nondescript European town.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, but is it German or Spanish? I can't tell.
Is it English? Is it French? I don't know. Where is this factory? I don't know. But Charlie starts opening up factories, or just a couple here and there. Maybe like one in America, maybe one in England. One in Africa, one in Japan.
Every continent.
Yeah, one in every continent. And thankfully, with Wonka tech, the supply chain is actually a net gain on the environment. Because people are just like, oh no, chocolate beans. All this. Like, no. Like Wonka.
We sent it through the TVs.
Yeah, Wonka figured all this stuff out. Like, and we've been adapting this stuff for years. Like, actually, this works out for everybody.
Yeah, it's a shame this is for candy.
Yeah.
God forbid it be for life-saving medicine, or or for feeding the world.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
So this is where the main conflict of the movie starts. So Charlie's optimism and progressive stance on stuff, like helping people, starts running afoul of like the other companies and other governments.
Yeah. Okay.
Because wait a second.
They're gonna put a hit out on Charlie, aren't they?
So the second act is basically Charlie trying to tackle all these hurdles and red tape as his chocolate factories are built around the world.
Okay.
And the people who are starting, he's hiring people who need work and he's giving them a living wage, and like everything's like, hey, this system that Charlie developed is working.
Okay.
But there are people who are in the current power structure that's like, we don't want this to work. Kind of this is, and I feel like this is a little bit Rodalian in like how he's like tries to take down some structures and stuff like that. So Slugworth and a few other while Charlie's doing all this cool stuff, Slugworth and a few other corrupt government people, and we'll keep them nondescript because they could be from anywhere in the world or something like that. Start like coming up with plans to try to destroy Charlie and the Wonka brand as things are starting to actually improve around stuff, and they are not big fans of that. Because it's hurting their bottom lines and their goals and aspirations for.
So Charlie's got to take out the trash.
So Charlie doesn't really know that he's running afoul of people yet, because he's just trying to do his best. And so as things are as we kind of move them through time here a little bit, as the factories start coming up and like people are like, this is great. Charlie is realizing that one of the few problems that he has with the system that he set up now is transit. And there's because we got to move things around the globe fast enough for people, because like the supply chain, because like we can get stuff into the factories, it's getting things out and transferring through from factory to factory. So Charlie starts to try to figure out a way to get things from factory to factory around the planet, and digs out an old plans from Wonka, because he's got the whole factory, and Wonka had plans on plans on plans. And he goes back and he actually finds a really interesting plan for a train. He's gonna have like a railroad around the planet.
Okay.
To help transfer all the stuff from factory to factory.
Great.
So, eventually Charlie comes out and is like, "Hey, I've done this thing. I've been able. Now we can travel around the world. This is great. It's really easy. It's really fast." And, it's going to help the supply chain and everything. It's going to help with pollution. This is a net gain for everybody. This is fantastic. Railways, the future. And at the moment when he does the big announcement of, hey, we've done this awesome thing, Charlie announces that the Wonka brand, the company, or what have you, now that we've achieved this goal, there's one other thing that's really standing in the way of that I think we can really help everybody on.
Liberals. Let's get
it's climate change.
Okay. I'm starting to see where this is going.
So this is when
I was like, in
Slugworth,
the first two acts I was like,
and everyone else decide like, oh, okay, this is the opportunity. He's overreaching. We can thwart him because whenever he does this, we can corrupt this thing. So, time passes a little bit, and Charlie's like, here we go. Wonka Tech is really amazing, and we can figure some stuff out. We can actually help the environment. And that's when things go terribly, terribly wrong. When Charlie turns on the machine to start helping stuff at all these different factories, all of a sudden the temperature does start changing, but uncontrollably, and the temperature starts dropping rapidly.
Okay. Someone sabotaged his machine.
Yeah, someone sabotaged Charlie's machine, and now the world's starting to freeze, and everyone starts blaming Charlie. But behind the scenes, Charlie realizes what the heck just happened. That his machine was sabotaged by Slugworth and some goons or whatever. He brings his proof. He brings his proof forward, and Slugworth is brought to justice. But it doesn't really matter. It's too late. The damage has been done.
Oh man!
So the world starts to freeze. And Charlie's doing everything he can to protect the people and fix the problem.
Yeah.
Because all the people in the factories and stuff. He's trying, is what he's always done. Charlie just tries to protect as many people and help as many people as possible.
Yeah, man. He's like Captain America like that.
He's pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
He's just a chocolatier.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, Charlie's options are limited. And so Charlie has a difficult call to make. He laments the situation. Of course, he laments how money and power have corrupted his all these plans that he had and all these dreams of helping everybody, but he doesn't have any other way of saving as many people as possible except to modify his transglobal train. So once the train is modified, Charlie is able to get as many people as he can from his different factories onto this train. And unfortunately, just as he was about to launch it, he realized there was a fatal flaw in the design. Because Wonka designed this train way back in the day. And he designed it for Oompa Loompas. And there are no more Oompa Loompas. Because they retired with Willy Wonka to God knows where. Maybe in a different dimension, because Wonka's got that tech.
Yeah, man. Put a gobstopper in the great glass elevator and got out of there.
So, Charlie, with the world freezing around him, trying to save as many people as possible, doesn't know what to do. And so, he logics his way into the only decision that he can to save as many people as possible. When people come on board, and a couple of ne'er-do-wells, slip on because there's a lot of people. It's a big ass train. Man. There's enough people slipping in there.
And you said you don't like disaster movies.
So, like he did back in his days at the chocolate factory, Charlie offers some kids a tour of the train, and to say you have a chance to help everyone survive. And so, in a scene very reminiscent of Charlie Wonka greeting him in front of the factory all those years ago, he greets the kids and then takes them on a tour. And as Charlie starts leading the kids towards the front of the train, we get a moment with him as we see him look out and reflect on all his choices that brought him to this moment. And a tear rolls down his face. And the camera pans out from the train as we just see the train just plowing through the snow. To be continued.
You wrote a Snowpiercer prequel?
Yes, I did.
How dare you? No, I'm going to be honest with you. The first two acts, I was like, it seems like he's taking this really seriously, and I'm not sure what he's where's the butt coming? And then you're like, he built a train. I was like, come on!
Now listen.
Come on!
I've only seen Snowpiercer once.
Great film.
Yes.
That works. I'm into it.
I'm pretty sure I've never actually watched one of those actual theory videos about it. Just like I've just heard of the theory.
Yeah.
That it's like, well, I think it's Charlie who's actually in charge of the train.
I completely forgot about it.
Because there's W's all over it, and it could be like, I was like, oh, it's possible that maybe I did years ago, maybe suck up some stuff of this into my subconscious. I am not sure.
I'm into it.
But if I did, I'm sorry, but like this just seemed like because I don't know Willy Wonka and I don't really care, but like I was like, oh wait a second, we're gonna do a Willy Wonka sequel. I instantly knew what my fix was gonna be. Yeah, I'm gonna make a prequel to
I just took it seriously and wrote a heartfelt.
You absolutely did, and there was no way for me to
you
even
disrespect me.
I couldn't top that.
No, dude, that was hilarious. Well done.
Thanks.
Bravo.
Poor Charlie. He had all the good intentions in the world, but there were just enough evil people out there to.
Yeah, but I think I wanted my fix to just fix the one issue. It's just like, oh, you make one mistake, you're bad forever.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's not the lesson I want my kid to walk away from. Mm-mm. I want them to learn a lesson to be a good person, but like they also, they don't.
Yeah. No, your fix was amazing.
That's hilarious. Did you notice me throw in that Captain America line at one point?
Yes, I did.
Did you clock it?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
No. As soon as you said, "Oh, he made a train," I'm like, okay, I think Jay knows what's going on right now.
Oh no, I didn't. The minute you're like, it's a train, I was like, oh, yeah.
God damn it.
I got to give you credit though. That the build up really took me. So I was like, where's the poop, Robin? Where's the poop, Robin? You don't get that reference.
I do not get the Robin.
Oh boy. Well, I think we did it, bud.
Snowpiercer. It's a movie and a TV show. Apparently, it's a pretty good TV show. It got like 4 seasons. 3 seasons? 4 seasons?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Did not watch that.
No, neither did I. The movie was just it's a sad ending.
Yeah.
Because the train derails and like, so everyone died? So we're all dead?
Yeah, man. It's all pointless. Yeah, man. Life is meaningless. You didn't get that?
Okay. Well,
yeah, man.
This is a fun 2 hours. They're eating bugs the whole time? Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, man. Bug bars. I think about that all the time. I hate it. I don't enjoy the bug bars. I'm not a big fan of that butter pecan in any way. Well, we did it, man. What are
We did do
What
it.
are we doing next week?
Next week is pretty much the final like real episode of the year.
Oh, that's right. I know.
We are doing Aquaman.
Aquaman.
Which just was not the worst movie.
I didn't hate that movie. I thought that movie was kind of fun, but I think it definitely needs a little. This might be like a tweak rather than a fix.
Yes.
You know,
Absolutely.
I'm excited to rewatch that again. We won't be doing it for the watch along this next week because this watch along next week we're watching Violent Night. Join the Discord, come hang out. It's gonna be fun.
Santa Die Hard.
Santa Die Hard, can't wait. Well, we did it, man.
We did do it.
I'm excited for next week. That should be fun. But as we end every single one of these episodes, oh wait, no. Before we end every single one of these episodes, hey, if you're watching this on YouTube, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, hit that bell, do that YouTube that you do so well. Guacamole's Extra. You podcast listening, weirdos you. And also, hey, if you're catching this wherever you catch your podcasts in the audio format, if you wouldn't mind maybe leaving us 5 stars, maybe writing down your favorite bundt cake recipe. You know, whatever you want to leave in the comments. You can write whatever you want. They can't stop you. I mean, there are certain terms and conditions apply, of course. But if you want to leave a bundt cake recipe, I don't think there's anything problematic about that.
Jay can't stop you. He's not your mom.
Yeah, man. If you just want to put the card list of your favorite effective commander deck for Magic the Gathering, go nuts. I think that'd be great. I've been looking for a new deck. Why not? Let's party. And all that out of the way. As we end every single one of these episodes, heartbreak feels good in a place like this.
It's the slow Charlie Bucket's mom song.
No.
She doesn't.
We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.